Hey, everybody. And yes, thank you. Thank you for the welcome back, Sophie. Thanks for being here. We know the Traders premiere is about to drop, or the finale and the reunion is about to drop. So thank you guys for being here. Welcome. You know, I know you guys missed us a little bit. We've been a little MIA, taking a little break, breather from life, but welcome to Reality Unloaded, the Challenge All Stars 5 Rivals, episode 5 and 6 review. We're back with a double. And it's your girl Keeks.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Jenna, back again.
Yes, Jenna's back again, y'all. We didn't scare her, thankfully. But we're here to talk ish about our favorite show ish, kind of. You know, it's there. It's the wheels are freaking finally turning, thankfully. We got to see Brandon's favorite girl, Michelle, last week. Yes. You know?
She made a little appearance.
She made a little appearance, you know. Alongside other familiar faces.
I didn't realize how many challenge
couples there are.
Others were like in the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like 5 in total.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of challenge romance going on, and everybody hooks up with everybody. Like, everybody's connected somehow. I forgot, there was like this video, or I don't know if it was like a Reddit thread. I can't remember, but it was literally like the tree of all the hookups in the challenge, and that was insane.
Was it a forest
family
at
tree?
that point?
No, yeah, it was definitely a forest at that point. It was crazy. Yes, we did hear that's about Cedric from Big Brother 26 on season 41. We'll talk about season 41 cast a little bit later, because clearly there were still some people that were rumored to be on, but they're not really on, and there were some errors. So we'll reach that out. You know, we'll talk about it later on. But thank you for joining us, Sophie. Thank you, Mary, for being here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Chat it up in the comments while we get through these 2 episodes. So let's start off with episode 5, which was last week. All right, so the first half of the episode, we started off with, like we mentioned, Nani, Adam, Leroy, Amber, Devin, all FaceTiming their challenge significant others, their loved ones. Was very weird seeing Nani FaceTiming Casey, because they're clearly broken up, but I'm sure there's no bad blood there. We see Adam obviously talking to Avery and his daughters, Leroy talking to Cam and their kids, and Leroy's son being like, win the money. It's like, come on. I'm tired of you leaving, Dad. Win the money. But unfortunately, that's not the case, as we know by the end of the episode. Amber talking to Chauncey with their daughter, and then Devin FaceTiming his new beloved Michelle. And, you know, Michelle, I don't know how you do it, girl, but
I'm going to just say bless you. Yeah.
If you like it, I love it.
Sure. We don't like it, but
right. I mean, somebody gotta like it. She gotta like it if she with him, so whatever. Or well, they're in love, so.
Wait, are you guys Michelle fans or no?
So here's the thing. in last season, Lena hated Michelle. Number one Michelle hater.
Lena does not like Michelle.
She does not like Michelle. She doesn't like her gameplay. She doesn't like anything, right? But she watched Survivor, so she knows her whole backstory. I was giving Michelle the benefit of the doubt because I felt like she earned her place later on. And Keeks was kind of like in the middle, like, all right, I'm fine with her. So that's the backstory of it.
Okay.
Yeah, are you a fan of Michelle?
So it's funny because I never saw her Survivor season, but I'm a Survivor fan. So when she came on to the challenge in the first place, I was like, all right, I gotta check her out, because I wasn't feeling her on the challenge either. Like, I just didn't like her personality, her gameplay, nothing. Like, I just thought she was a big crybaby, for lack of better terms. So I went back and I watched her on Survivor and I loved her. She played such a great game. She won. Like, so I had higher hopes for her continuing the seasons on the challenge. And I don't know. I think it brings out not so great side of her. So
Okay. Sophie,
Interesting.
I don't know about okay. Is it opposite day? Because okay. Lena would have hated the Michelle cameo. She probably rolled her eyes at it, to be quite honest. Knowing Lena. But yeah, I'm on the fence when it comes to Michelle. Like there are certain things that I do enjoy of her. Well, my biggest critique about Michelle is that I wish she would lean into the villain role. I think she wants to be this nice guy or like nice person and she wants to get along with everybody, but it's just not realistic, especially in the challenge house. And I don't know, for somebody that played Survivor, I feel like sometimes Michelle plays like a big brother player.
Very,
Like,
very much.
and
Very
I'm
much.
just like,
Because
this is not Big Brother. This is the challenge. And I think she's gotten a little bit better. But like, for example, last season when her and Johnny were going at it and she was just like bugging Johnny, I was like, this, Michelle, just lean into it. And then you would be much more liked. So that's my issue with Michelle.
But that's how
agreed.
she won Survivor, was like she had really good alliances and connections with everybody. So I think she's
Mm-hmm.
like maybe afraid to lose that on the challenge, and maybe that's why she doesn't lean into
Mm,
the villain thing as much.
mm.
But
I
I
will
agree.
say, go
I think
ahead.
the challenge is much more cutthroat, so that's why
Yeah.
she's probably struggling with that. So
I agree with that. I think another thing I will give her credit for, like for Michelle to constantly say that she's not some girl with like a lot of athleticism and she doesn't work out, all these things. I'm like, you do fairly well. Like, and obviously she proved that she's a strong competitor. And like we saw on 39, even though I hate that season, she ran the house. So she is
They ran that
capable.
whole house. Yeah.
She is capable of doing well, but I don't know. I just feel like this whole like I want to be nice, I want everybody to like me, like cut that out.
She won me over in season 40. Let's just say that.
Yeah, we
Season
know, we
39
know.
hated her. But season 40, I was like, okay, I rock with you. So
Mhm.
okay.
Okay, so we see Leroy and Dario talk about how close they are, how they used to live together in Vegas, and all these things, and they know each other's families. Did y'all know that Leroy and Dario were this close?
I
I for some
didn't
reason
know.
go ahead, Brandon.
I was gonna say I didn't. I knew based on their Instagram posts. I didn't know that they were close, like playing together wise. But I remember
Yes.
there was a period of time where he did move to Vegas, and they were always posting stuff with each other. But I didn't know it was like this my bestie in the house type of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I knew there was a relationship outside of the game, but I didn't know that it was that deep. So
Yeah, I knew that too. I didn't know it was this deep either. And I was just like, oh, maybe like I missed that. But I do remember like when people would ask about like Dario, I'm like, well, he's posted with Leroy. So like he still does have some sort of connection to the challenge. Um, but yeah, I didn't know it was that serious. But we got some insight there. And as soon as we got that, I said, okay, something's about to happen with Leroy and Dario. And then we
Mhm.
see Frank and Sam obviously working out together. They say they want to try their best to do well for each other and win the money. And I'm just like, okay, this is good. I feel like they've cleared up whatever they've dealt with in the past with one another for sure. But you can obviously tell Frank's frustrations with Sam and her capabilities has come out, you know, here and there. But I do see that they want to like do better for each other. I do see that. Um, so let's get into the daily challenge, Sunday Fun Day. Brandon, do you want to take away this stupid daily challenge? Because
I
honestly, I feel
mean,
like what
if
the
you
hell
even
is this?
call it a challenge, yeah. So this is our equivalent to like I guess the trivia challenge and also like the eating challenge, but this is not what we wanted. So basically, how the rules go, each team will be given a vanilla milkshake with shot glasses of add-ins, and this includes anything from ketchup to mayonnaise to durian. One partner will stay at the table and will be asked a question about their teammate while their partner is behind them. And if they get a question right, they don't have to add anything into the shake. But if they get it wrong, they have to add in one of the extra ingredients into their shake. After all of the questions are answered, the teams will finish, they'll race to finish their shake. And then the first team to down their drink the at the beginning wins. So how did you guys feel about this challenge overall? I thought like we did see some strategies being played. I felt like some people didn't play with their minds at all. They were just kind of answering ridiculous questions. But what are your thoughts on it?
Go ahead, Jenna.
You're muted, Jenna.
It's okay. It's okay.
Whoopsie. I don't know. I don't like challenges like this because I'm more of just a physical competitor kind of person. Like I love trivia and stuff like that, but also like I don't love the eating challenges. I think a lot of people are turned off by them anyway. So I don't know. The strategy, just I don't know. It was giving me a newlywed game, to be honest.
That's exactly what it
Very
was.
much, yeah.
A
Very
newlywed game. That's exactly what it was. I
Mhm.
agree. I felt like my whole thing is like, okay, yes, we saw some people throw some strategy in there. Obviously, like we saw Veronica and Katie vote for themselves, and they kind of were on the same wavelength. Honestly, the entire episode, like Katie and Veronica, they really understood each other. Um, but there were some moments where I did not appreciate where they were able to say no one. I felt like if you said no one, like that should have been grounds for like disqualification, or I don't
or an
know,
extra
like,
shot,
or an
something.
extra shot of something. But I really wish that was part of the rules. Like you can't just not say anybody, you have to give an answer. Um and we kind of saw that be like a snowball effect after a while with the questions. And
Mhm.
granted, like it did start off with like a throwaway with like, oh, what's your partner's like sign, horoscope sign, and then it went to like obviously game related questions. But yeah, I didn't appreciate that. But what I did find funny was that everybody was saying all these things about Sam and Frank, and Sam and Frank were doing the best.
Mhm.
It was very, very funny.
I think for as far as like rivals go, I really do feel like because Sam and Frank did the real world together. Like they know each other for a really long time. So I think that worked to their benefit.
Yeah, I feel like them two and Ashley and Dario really are like
Right.
the biggest threats right now in this specific daily challenge
Mhm.
because they're so close.
Yeah.
But I was surprised that that Ashley and Dario didn't do better considering they dated for that long. But then clearly, as we've seen, like Dario must have just been a fuckboy because
Right. It's Dario guessing, so
right. Um, and then who else did really bad? Melissa and
they were a mess.
Nicole.
Yeah.
Nicole. I did laugh when Katie said, mind you, this is why I love Katie being in a season for longer, because her confessionals are so funny to me. She's like, Melissa and Nicole, they could have a show. Somebody will watch for 15 minutes. I don't know if they'll watch the whole thing, but they'll watch for 15 minutes. And I was like, Katie, you're so shady. I live for it. But yeah, and then we saw Leroy and Devin obviously do a horrible job, which also goes to show that they clearly don't have a good bond, even though they're fake rivals. Because really,
Mhm.
Right.
they're fake rivals. Like, please.
Right.
And honestly, okay, I don't know about y'all, but do y'all find like Devin's commentary similar to Bananas, like so obnoxious?
He wants to be bananas so badly. And it's coming off as trying so hard because when bananas does it, that's just bananas. We've seen him throughout the years. He's gotten on this high horse. We know he's like that. And we've seen him fall off a couple times where he's gotten humbled. But Devin, for some reason, I don't know what it is, and I know he was an asshole in his Are You the One season. I remember, but he's never acted this egotistical before. Like I think after that win, that was it. Like he thinks he's the greatest thing on earth.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of Devin. Jenna, are you a fan of Devin? Have you ever been a fan of Devin?
I was when he first came on the challenge. Just because, not that I hate bananas, but I was glad that there was finally somebody that was like really coming at bananas. I was sick of the whole West and bananas thing, the C team bananas. So it was like, all right, there's a new blood that's like not afraid of him. So I liked him for that. I respected him for that. But yeah, like Crystal said, Devin in general does cringe things. Like he's just, I don't know.
Yeah, no. He is yeah.
I do
I don't even.
appreciate his strategy though. I do think he's good and like his mind is constantly working. So I
He's
do.
smart. Yeah,
He's very
Yes.
smart.
very, very
He's
smart.
very smart.
But he's just cringe sometimes. I'm just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
mm-mm.
Okay, so obviously we see the teams, they drink, they chug the whole thing, right? And after the durian shot, I was surprised more people didn't throw up, but like Fessy said, some of them didn't get the bad taste of the shake until like the very bottom. Also Amber has a really weak stomach. Like she goes crazy with the vomiting. Like immediately. I was like, God damn. But the team to pretty much win were Frank and Sam. Yay, Frank and Sam.
I was really happy for them actually. So
Me too.
You saw how Frank was like, no, we finished first. We finished first. Cut the camera.
I appreciated that because I was just like, yes, like, okay, now we know that they're about to make a good move. Especially Frank, like you've been talking all this big game, like you gotta back it up and shake the house up. So I was very happy to see that. Did you want to talk anything else about the daily challenge before we move on?
We can move on. Okay.
All right. So we get to the second half of the episode. Frank and Sam obviously agree that they want to flip the house. Nicole tells Frank if she were to pick someone, she would pick Nani and Turbo to make a big move and go for a star holder. Then Dario is playing pool with Fessy and Corey and pretty much mentions like Frank and Sam are going to throw in Devin and Leroy against Adam and Steve. Which I thought in this moment, that's crazy coming from you and you not telling Leroy this.
He's shady. He's shady. Like what? Like you said earlier on in the episode when they were explaining their friendship, I knew he was gonna do something stupid because I know Leroy is not that person. Like he's loyal to a fault. So seeing him do that, I was like, ugh. It made me remember why I never really liked Dario because he did this a few seasons back.
He did.
They showed the flashback for that, didn't they?
Yes, yes,
that?
they
Who
did.
was that with? It was with
Devin and Cheyenne.
It was with Devin because they were in the same Are You the One season, so they knew each other.
Yeah, I was actually like, Dario, why didn't you tell Leroy this? If you would have told Leroy this first, that would have gone a lot smoother for you and saved your ass. Because ultimately, like, if you have to go with a house vote or whatever, or like not Adam and Steve, you already know Frank and Sam are gonna vote Leroy and Devin in. You should have just at least given him the heads up.
But did he say that though? Because from what I remember, it sounded like he was saying like, well, they're the stronger team, so why don't they go in with them?
Right. Right.
So he was insinuating it for them.
Which honestly, and listen, I know people have been talking about Corey being messy, boots and everything, but Corey been peeping mad stuff. And Corey is really on the nose with a lot of stuff. So for him to be the instigator, and you may or may not like Corey, Corey is on it. And we'll talk about it in the next episode as well. So Corey then runs and tells Devin that he heard from Dario's big ass mouth that he was suggesting that Devin and Leroy go against Adam and Steve. And of course, Devin, who has an even bigger mouth, goes to Leroy and is like, nah, 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 nah. We got to talk about this. Your boy is saying our name. And I'm glad that Leroy was like, let me pull him right now. You know, we're going to talk to Dario, see what's going on. And he tells him straight up, like, yo, are you rallying for me and Devin to go in? Because we're supposed to be boys. And Dario says no, but then
Looking
says,
stupid.
but then says, yo, but like, if that's what happens, like, that gives me a better chance at this game. And it's also just like, he's also not denying the fact that, like, he wouldn't mind if Leroy goes in, knowing that him and Leroy are mad close and have this strong bond. So how did y'all feel about that conversation between Leroy and Dario? Jenna, go ahead.
Well, I would just want to jump back to the conversation with Dario, Fessy, and Corey,
Oh,
because
yes.
to me, the way that that conversation transpired, somebody else brought up Leroy and Devin, and Dario agreed, but he didn't necessarily say their name. He did agree. He was like, it would be good if they went in. In the confrontation that Leroy and Devin have later on, where they get into a little face-to-face action, I feel like Devin was kind of just accusing Dario of like, yo, you said our name. Which semantics, sure. Like you want to sit here and say like you agreed or you said our name, either way, you want us to go in. But I think Devin got a little bit upset because I feel like Corey kind of conveyed it like Dario said your name. And I don't think that's what happened.
I get you. I do also agree that somebody else must have mentioned it. And maybe it was Fessy. Maybe it was Fessy that brought it up in conversation and we didn't get to see that whole thing go down. But it just feels like because Dario also wasn't defending Leroy, like if that's your best friend, that looks kind of crazy for you to not be like, nah, like I'm not doing that to my best friend.
Or if right after you hear it, you're like, go to Leroy.
Right. Yeah.
Like play the game, sound like you're down, but then be like, yo, they're plotting against you. That would be one thing. But yeah, he didn't do that at all.
He didn't do that.
And he doubled down.
He doubled down. That was the crazier part. Dario was trifling for that. Trifling as hell. He has no game loyalties at all. I mean, listen, he left his girlfriend of 4 years in the dust. Just ghosted her. Because that's really what he should have said.
Crazy. Because Ashley's really nice. Ashley never did no messed up thing to nobody. Like
I was just like, you ghosted her? That's what you did. You ghosted her. Don't make it sound good, bro. You ghosted her. Send Dario to Drag Race as a pit crew like ASAP. Oh my god, I am so glad we are not seeing ASAP no more.
I'm sorry, but I feel like the pit crew has more personality than Dario that has.
Yeah, definitely.
Like he's cute and all, but like I wouldn't put it that far.
Right. So obviously Leroy and Dario, they're having a much more calm conversation about this whole thing. Leroy's peeping things, but he's like, you know what? At the end of the day, like this is still my brother outside of this game. Whatever, it is what it is. He's a little hurt by it, but he's like, it's the game. Devin then obviously inserts himself as per usual and says that Dario just got caught in a lie and they start going at each other. And Dario lets Devin have it. And I'm so glad somebody starts telling Devin about his damn self. And Devin cannot fight for nothing. What is this? No. Your breath stinks. Maybe it's your own hot ass breath hitting Dario's face and you back. Maybe it's that. Cause you look crazy. And then I love how Dario was like calling him a bum. And then Devin talking about you're talking to a champion, act like it. Oh,
sir, you won one season. One season with somebody, not even by yourself, with somebody who is more of a champion than you'll ever be. And then he was like, you do puzzles and you have a pot belly.
Yes, you do puzzles and you got a pot belly. Oh, I got more money in the bank. Sure you do. I'm sure you do. Sure, Devin. Another funny moment. was another thing in general, like Devin, you are a male pair. Like, what made you really think that you were safe? Like, I didn't understand that either. I
Mhm.
just feel like he's on this high horse where he thinks he's untouchable, and it really pisses me off. Like, you need to win. Like, you are in a male pair. They're gonna try to get one of y'all out. You're too strong.
Mhm.
Um, but I did crack up at Dario getting in his face, like, you're a bum. You got a pot belly. You can't do nothing. Like, come on.
I did think it was funny though, because like they got mad close, and I really like part of me wanted to see Dario swing. I know he
Me
wouldn't, because
too.
you get kicked off the show
Same.
for that. But like,
Mhm.
I'm like, kiss, throw a punch, do something. Like, I thought it was funny. I was definitely entertained.
Which one?
Jeanette,
Oh,
that man
maybe
was
flip flop.
flip flops, yo, with them damn crusty toes of his, all out. The Dario Devin fight reminded me of the fight they did in Rivals 3. I had secondhand embarrassment watching. The tough guy act on reality TV is so silly. You can beat Devin up. Wow, congrats, grown man. One swing, you're DQ. Devin is super cringe though. I usually like his shenanigans, but not this.
Agreed.
Dario really gathered him. He did. Dario and Devin for future rival season. Oh God.
Oh God,
I
no!
don't
I
want
was Team
Honestly.
please.
Dario during this fight, though. I will say Dario pissed me off in the episode, but during this fight, I was happy because I was
Yeah,
over
me
that.
too.
Mhm.
Me too. And honestly, I'm so tired of Devin talking about like playing this game of integrity that he's never backstabbed a friend. Who cares? Who cares? You want to play best friend race? Go on freaking Big Brother. Like,
Didn't he
I don't
backstab his friend last season, Josh? Didn't he do that? Right? Am I crazy?
no, you're not.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. No, Josh is not his friends. Josh is not his friend, you know? Because Josh has to suck his dick to pretty much be his friend, apparently. Like, it's his way or no way.
So he's a vacation acquaintance. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right. Um, um, no, I did not see Devin's tweets, Sophie. I don't care to see Devin's tweets. And in fact, I probably have him muted. I don't like the man. So let's keep it that way. But let's get into this house vote. Go ahead, Brandon.
All right, so we get into the house vote, and basically Leroy starts it off, and he's basically like, I heard Nani's name has been thrown around. So because of that, I'm gonna say Nicole and Melissa. And then Melissa's literally like, I need to put a muzzle on this girl because like I don't know what is happening. And Nicole's like, yeah, that's my fault. My fault. I said it. I'm like, girl, come on. But Steve and Adam then go ahead and say Big T and Corey. And this was funny because then Corey started to like puff his chest, like, why you saying my name? Blah, blah, blah. I see you. And I'm like, Corey, just shut. You're not going in. You already know how it's going to go. Like, doing the most. And you see Adam getting heated too. He's like, just let me speak.
I just love that he finally spoke up. Like,
Finally,
God,
right?
finally.
Who,
Like
Adam?
yeah, he finally just
Yeah.
like didn't just sit back and take it. Like someone came at him and he was like, "Yo, shut up."
But I
So,
also was kind of just like, Adam, like, please shut up with the like rolling your eye. Okay, we get it. Corey's
yeah.
talking. Clearly, Corey's apparently talked a lot, so he must have annoyed Adam to get him that to that point. But yeah, I was just like, okay, like whatever,
Yeah,
guys. Do
they were
y'all.
talking a lot. They were talking a
Yeah.
lot. Um, then Nani and Turbo vote Nicole and Melissa because Nani's petty. Um, and then Veronica and Katie vote for Big T and Corey. Everyone else, to no one's surprise, votes Adam and Steve. Which at this point, yawn. I'm over it. They've proven themselves time and time again. Like, sure, whoever wants to go on against them at this point, you're gonna go home because
Right.
they compete when one is dying of the flu and still win. And you still just think it's an easy thing to do. So whatever. And then afterwards, Devin talks to Frank and Sam to make sure that they're still safe and tells them that they should put in Nicole and Melissa, which was an interesting play. I till this point and very confused as to why Nicole and Melissa are kind of like just in the shadows with this star. Or no, they don't have a star, right?
No, they don't have a star.
Okay. But they're still in the shadows. They're not getting like any attention.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I think they're getting attention and it's not good attention, like because of Nicole's mouth.
Right. Like, that would have made me want to throw her in at this point.
Yeah. But I will say again, here goes Devin thinking that he's gonna be able to get his way and send as per usual, as we've been seeing, a female pair against a male pairing, which is so irritating. So then more than like, especially with the elimination that we got, like Nicole and Melissa would have went home.
Agreed.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
I'm over it. So let's get into the elimination. So we get to the sand. Frank and Sam choose Leroy and Devin. Thank you, Frank and Sam. Thank you. This is what needed to be done. The rules are: using a rope, teams will roll several barrels across the jungle from one end to the other without touching the ground, with each partner being assigned a color. The barrels are pieces of a puzzle that teams must arrange to solve a triangle puzzle with the sum of each side of the triangle matching the center number on the center barrel. And then the first team to solve both of the puzzles wins. And then at this point, like, I was like, okay, it's looking like this could be close. We obviously have like pretty equal pairing, like, you know, equal elimination. Leroy is very like, he's very strong. Devin can hold his weight and obviously is very smart. And then you have Steve, who solves everything pretty quickly. Adam can hold his weight. So what I did find interesting, that it was like Leroy had to help like Devin at a certain
interesting
point. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then obviously like Steve having to keep Adam in check, like, no, like, do not move the middle barrel. That needs to stay there. Because Adam was still confused. And honestly, I kind of would have been a little bit confused too. But I am just happy that this was not a female pair in the elimination, because they would have lost with all this shit that they would have had to carry. So how did y'all feel about the elimination overall?
I feel like they tailored it to Devin. I definitely think they were like, okay, Devin's in here, give him something that he can win at, because he's production's puppet at this point. But surprisingly, like you said, he didn't do well, and Leroy had to help him in the end. Steve is very smart, so I'm happy that he was able to complete his and then help Adam, and then they were able to get through it. But overall, like, yawn.
What about you, Jenna?
I thought it was cool. I definitely thought it was interesting. I liked that it was a mix of physical and puzzle kind of thing. I do think the math part was a little tailored to Devin, but you know, ultimately Adam and Steve came out on top. And I was so torn in the middle of it because I was rooting for Leroy. I always root for Leroy, but I'm glad that Adam and Steve were able to win again. And, you know, hopefully not have to go back in. So
yeah. I was very happy, obviously sad to see Leroy go. And obviously we see like Dario say that he's upset Leroy is gone because that's his boy, but he's happy that Devin is out of the game. Yeah, I mean, sorry, Leroy. Like, this really was your season to win. And it's really unfortunate that this is who you had to pair. Part of me, who you were paired up with, but at the same time, I'm also like, you need to play harder. Like, at this point, you're just coming onto these seasons for a check versus you actually wanting to win. and I'm starting to like, is the check this good? It has to be this good because Anissa keep coming back and losing every damn season. So it gotta be good.
It's just frustrating though because I know that Leroy has what it takes to actually win if he just try harder. I don't know. Like you said, I feel like he's coming there for the check, and once he gets that check, he's like, "All right, I'm going back to my family." Take an actual break.
I I feel like Leroy though, like he plays a really passive game, and I think he relies on his physical abilities a little too much and his alliances to like kind of strategize and politic for him. And I don't want to say ride coattails, but like I think that that's his strategy a lot of the time, and it's just like you need to take control of your own
Switch it
game.
up.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
he needs to come like, yeah, you got a family now, you got kids, you got a wife. I don't know if him and Cam are married, but like you gotta be a little more cutthroat if you really want that money. Like, I don't know.
So how do y'all feel about, because somebody mentioned it, I think it was Sophie, about Jemmy making that comment, like if their children are ever gonna see one of their parents be a challenge champ, it's gonna be Cam. Like y'all
Yeah.
gotta send y'all mama in,
Mhm.
because at this point, I don't know. I just think Leroy's used to the check, and maybe it's the contract thing too, right? Because apparently when they sign the contract, they're like signed for a few seasons, and maybe that's the reason why he's been in the last 3 seasons so far.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm sorry, Leroy. Like you got to do better.
Mm.
Which Tyra Banks meme? Which one? Because
I was
there's
rooting for
several.
Oh, we
you,
were rooting for
probably.
you. We
Oh,
were all rooting for
no, I'm
you.
rooting for you. That's good, Mary.
That is true. That's
I
definitely
wish
how
I
I
could get
felt.
a girl like this. What a freaking moment. Iconic, honestly. Iconic. Because I don't know why I immediately thought of like her like fake fainting, and she's like, who was scared? Me. Me too. Like, she's
That's
like,
crazy because I
why?
watch all those cycles of ANTM.
But like, why did she do that? So still to this day, I'm like, why did you decide to fake fate on them girls? Like, they was really worried. Like,
I think it was like something for
like an acting
acting.
challenge.
Yeah.
She's so ridiculous. Like she's so unhinged. We got to talk about that. We should have like a episode where we talk about our favorite reality TV moments, because there's so many from that era,
That would
and
be funny.
ANTM is definitely on there. Please. All right, so the final star holders. Oh, actually, before we get into that, so TJ says they will find out what is happening with the star that Devin and Leroy had at the next challenge. So last season, the winners of the elimination got to give the star away. This time, it's up for grabs at the next challenge, which I think is really good. Shakes things
Agreed.
up a little bit. How did y'all feel
Agreed.
about that switch up?
So I like it, but I also don't like it because I wanted Adam and Steve to kind of like give it to someone else to kind of switch it up. But sure. Hopefully, if it ever comes to that, they won't have to fight for the star and like people will show their true colors and alliances. Um, but yeah, what about you, Jenna?
I have to disagree because I kind of like that Adam and Steve weren't able to give it away because I think they would have gave it to Veronica and Katie. And I'm sorry, undeserved. I understand it's about alliances and strategy and stuff like that, and you want to keep your people around, but I also think it would have been just a bad move because then people would have thrown them into elimination, whether it's by house vote or, winner vote, whatever. And that's an easy star. So it's like I like that they have to earn it themselves, and it's kind of up to chance, I guess, or skill.
Yeah, I guess. See, if I was them and I did have to give a star away, I feel like I would give it to Amber and Fessy and say like, "Hey, giving this to you, let's make a deal." And then
Okay.
they're indebted to them because
Yeah,
they're
I can see
likely to
that.
win again.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely wouldn't have given it to Veronica and Katie because, like, why would you do that? You're gonna put a target on their back,
Yeah.
for sure. Mary, I want some of the ANTM models and traders like Abijala, Allison, and Lisa, Eva. Yeah, I mean, I could see some of them. People were talking about like maybe Jade. That would be crazy if she was to ever come back on there, but or come back on the screen, but who knows? It would be cool. They should. They should definitely tap into those that cast because there's so many seasons and people to pull from. But all right, so let's get into episode 6. And here I thought that we were only gonna last like 20 minutes on episode 5. Not realistic, but let's get into it. So first half of the episode, Veronica says that her plan is to get rid of people that can do better athletically than her in the final. And pretty much she wants to be carried to the final. She doesn't care if people don't see her as a threat. She doesn't care if people consider them a layup. I said, okay. I mean, sure. I mean, that's what you got to do at this point. Like, what are you going to do, Veronica, really? And then we see, obviously, Dario touch on the fact that he hasn't had a conversation with Ashley since they broke up or why they broke up, etc., because he holds some guilt. And honestly, he's an avoidant ass motherfucker. Are we shocked? He's a Virgo man. Are we shocked? Are we shocked?
He's Dominican, right?
I think
Yeah,
he is.
I think he's Dominican and Puerto Rican, or maybe just Dominican. Either way, listen.
Oh God.
And he Dominican looking like that. And he Dominican from Boston, right? They from Mass?
I think so, yeah.
Listen. If y'all ever messed with a Dominican man, y'all know. Y'all know. If you know, you know. So I was like, dang, okay. And we see Ashley K and Amber, having their mommy time, and Melissa too. They're over there dancing through the fields of the house or the lawn, whatever you want to call it. They're having a grand old time. And Daria's like, I'm not trying to kill the vibe. We're good right now. But it's because he's avoidant as hell and he's immature. That's ultimately what it comes down to. So then we finally see Shane and our fave, Davon, have a conversation about what's going on in the house. And we now know that pretty much they're in the safe zone because they're protected by both sides of the house in some capacity. Shane obviously has Veronica, Katie, Adam, Steve, Nicole, Melissa on his side. And then Davon says that she had Leroy. She did mention her connection with Leroy. She has Nani. She has Amber, Fessy, Big T, Corey, and whoever else. I think she even said she was cool with Anissa. Pretty much, Davon said, I got everybody who's black on my side. and Big Brother players, anybody, all the people of color, they on my side. And Shane said, I got all the whites. That's literally what it is. Davon got all the black people and all the people of color, and Shane got all the white people.
All the white people and the older people.
Right. Mary, real quick, not too much on us Virgos. Yeah, we detach easy from people. I talk to my best friend 2 times a year. Damn, that's crazy. I'm a Virgo rising, so I understand, but damn, that's a little wild.
Girl, I'm a Virgo. I'm a whole Virgo.
Look, Brandon a whole Virgo. I forgot. And I'm talking mad crap. It's okay.
We're different though. We come in different personalities.
Yeah. Very, very much different personalities. But straight men that are Virgos are from hell. That's all I want to say. And he Dominican.
They're the worst.
Come on. Like Dario's on another level. But anyway, so that's what happened. How did y'all feel about this conversation between Shane and Davon? Because honestly, I've been missing Davon on my screen.
It was needed. And it was good for them to do that because at the end of the day, like they basically have the whole house in the palm of their hands. Like they can just sit and chill. They are really the Katie and Veronica of the house. They're safe
Mhm.
up to a certain
Yeah,
point.
up to a certain point. It looks like they're gonna have to make a decision soon, though. Like, which side are they gonna ride with? Because it's getting there. They're not gonna be able to hide for too long. But hey, do it
Mhm.
until you can't no more.
Right.
Yeah, so I was happy that they had this conversation, and I also just like gave insight, like, dang, like they have been politicking or building these bonds way better than I thought they were doing.
Right.
um all right, so let's get into the daily challenge. Go ahead and take that away, Brandon.
All right. So this challenge is called Playing Dirty. And TJ basically explains to everyone that the fourth star that Leroy and Devin lost is now up for grabs. So the rules of this game are that the first place pair of non-star holders will receive the fourth and final star, but you can still be up for elimination unless you come in first ahead of the star holders. So this is a timed event that will be played in 3 heats. To begin, each pair will race up a ladder and then slide down a slide with a bunch of mud on it. You will do this as much as necessary until you reveal the symbols underneath the mud. And then once those are revealed, you'll swim to a solving station to match the symbols with the corresponding letters to figure out the designated word. The team that uncovers the code and forms the word the fastest wins. So I was happy to see this challenge because finally something physical with endurance, like, and also strategy if you think about it, because it's like, who am I gonna have go there first, and who's gonna keep going down that has more stamina. Um, but what did you guys feel about the challenge overall? Were you disappointed? Were you happier from the last challenge that we saw?
I like this challenge. I thought it was fun. I don't know. There was a lot of good strategy too. So I think Corey and Big T, like Corey's tall as hell. So using his legs and trying to get off as much as he could before he slid down, I thought that was a really good strategy. I was watching with my mom, and my mom's like, "Well, all Veronica has to do is go down on her stomach, and those tits will wipe everything out." And I was like, "Oh my god, oh man,
Mom was right. Mom was right. And
oh
Wait,
my
we
Veronica
we
god."
didn't
need
do that.
Wait, we didn't know your mom watches, so now we need her as a guest judge for one
Yeah.
episode.
She only watches because of me, because I don't have cable, so I go to her house to watch it.
Oh, we need mom on the pod. Okay. That is hilarious. And why didn't Veronica do that?
I also thought
Yeah, I
Sam's
don't.
strategy was pretty good too, to go down sideways. So
Like sideways.
yeah,
Well, I mean, it worked because
right.
they clocked in and they were the first to win in their heat against
Hmm.
Big T and Corey and Nicole and Melissa, who I don't even know what they were doing that whole
Yeah, I don't
entire
know
time.
either.
Yeah.
I don't think
I
they know
will
what
s-
they're
um,
doing half the
Yeah, I don't
time.
think they know what they were doing either. I will say though, like it did seem like the mud came off a lot easier for the other two heats than the first round. I guess because more than likely, like with the heat and like how long
mhm.
it was probably there for, like it was a little
Hmm.
bit harder, dried up a lot
Peaked on,
harder.
yeah.
Because they were sliding
Uh,
down and it was just like they were just glossing over it, like putting more
right.
on it.
But it felt like the other heats, like they got through those, they wiped the boards easily, way easily. So I do want to make a comment that Big T, you got ahead of yourself, girl, and that made you guys lose the heat. Because I felt like if Corey would have stayed just going up and down the slide, and they would have won. Like they were
Hmm.
neck and neck with Sam and Frank at that point. But yeah, it was unfortunate.
Not too much on my girl.
I know. I know.
She really thought she had the word. I felt so bad.
Me too. But I was like, girl, come on. Come on, Big T. You can't get excited like that.
I don't know. No words for her.
Oh,
She's very ditzy to me. Love her, but
she is, but she's always a treat to see either way.
yeah, she's fun.
But we go into the second heat, and Jenna, you mentioned it with Katie and Veronica. There was also Fessy and Amber and Nani and Herbal. And within this heat, it was funny or interesting to me because Fessy in his confessional gives Amber her praises, says he regrets switching partners with her in the previous season they were on because they've been working flawlessly together. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, Fessy, see what happens when you don't have all of the vacation alliance here and you can actually see her for what she is.
I'm so glad he came to that realization. I said, okay, Fessel, I'm glad. Look at the growth. This is growth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't have the IKEA couch there with you, boggling you down, trying to make sure that you hate Amber for no damn reason. She's
I
not
mean, she
there
was on
anymore.
FaceTime.
Whatever. Still. That was the most personality we've seen of
Jenna, we're
Casey this
talking about
entire
Casey, by the way.
Casey the couch.
Oh,
Not Casey Clark, Casey the couch. That's the most personality we ever seen out of Casey in all her freaking showings on the challenge. She ain't never had that much personality, only in that dang FaceTime call. But yeah,
I mean,
I was
I feel
surprised
like
by
the
that
dog
too.
had more personality, to be honest.
Ugh!
But I love pugs, so I'm biased.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But yeah, I was surprised by that. I was like, wow. I am like shocked that he even said he should have never switched her as his partner. And it was Spies, Lies, and Allies, right?
I believe so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was like, wow, this is kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah,
But
he's
continue,
eating
Brandon.
his
Sorry.
words because she won. She's more of a
Mm-hmm.
champion than he is, so
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Brandon.
Stud. Mm-hmm. But with that, it ends up being neck and neck between Fessy and Amber and Nani and Turbo. However, Nani and Turbo do end up winning that heat, but because they're already star holders, Amber and Fessy still have a chance. They end up finishing their word and are still in the running for the star and finish in second place. In the last heat, it's Davon and Shane, Adam and Steve, and Ashley K and Dario. So Shane has a strategy. He's like, you know what? I have more endurance, so I'm gonna keep going down the slide. And it was funny because he sends Davon to the puzzle station, but you see Davon swim, and she's
Swimming. That
like,
was
you know what?
paddling.
Paddling. She's like, you know what? I don't know how to swim, but my daughter does. So that's all that matters.
I said, so is your daughter gonna join the challenge next season? Like, is she gonna go in your place when she's old enough? Because, baby girl, you gotta take some lessons with your daughter. I can't wait,
it
Davon.
it continues to befuddle me. I don't know how people continue to go on the challenge season after
And
season. It
don't
was
learn how to
Leroy for
swim
a
like
long time and just don't know how to swim. Like, come on.
at
You
least
The
know
learn the
about the
only
basics.
water.
the
Yeah,
only
the basics.
person that has learned his lesson, or a black person that has learned their lesson from the challenge, is Corey. And I'm convinced it was his wife's side that showed up for him. And that's why he was so good at swimming. He got better at swimming. Because
So what
even
happened with
freaking,
Kara?
well, you mean Cara Maga? Um,
That one, yes.
yeah, well, she voted, she's a MAGA monkey, so she's a lost cause to begin with. But at least she got a championship under, 2 championships under her belt. Yeah. I mean, we saw the swimming did her in. She did not win that swimming elimination with Tori. Like she really tried, but anyway.
But
So
yeah,
yeah. Go into the third heat. Or yeah, continue with the third heat. Sorry.
so basically, Devon gets there. Shane is sliding down. However, to no one's surprise because they just seem to be so good at everything that you throw them. Adam and Steve finish first. But however, because Adam and Steve again have a star, they're still the star up for grabs. So Davon and Shane end up finishing second. So now it's down to the winners, and Frank and Sam are basically named the winners of the star because they were the fastest non-star holder team amongst Amber and Fessy and Shayna and Davon.
Mm-hmm.
And again, to no one's surprise, Steve and Adam are the overall winners since they had the fastest time and are safe from elimination. I'm happy because I'm like, okay, finally, we get to see something new, somebody new, a different team go down because I'm tired of the same thing happening over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Agree.
I agree too. I definitely love this challenge, this daily challenge. It was one of my favorites. Honestly, this whole episode is probably my favorite out of the whole season so far. I felt
It
like the
was
daily
finally
challenge,
interesting.
yeah, the daily challenge was really good. Very like endurance based, but still like strategy had to be involved. And I like that there was like a competition, a challenge within the challenge, right? Like you don't only want to just be the person, the ultimate winner, but you want to also get a chance to win that star. So I did appreciate that as well. And yeah, I mean, hopefully y'all bring another challenge similar to this, further down the line, because it was good.
Yeah, I
Um
agree. Just no carnival games. Give us like
yeah.
these aren't geriatric patients. They can still run, they can still swim. Like stop acting like they can't move.
Yes, yes. And like you said, I was very happy to see Steve and Adam finally win and not be the ones to be thrown into the elimination, because that was getting boring. And it was fun to see the house now scramble to see
Mm-hmm.
who the heck was going to be the house vote. And honestly, I lived for this. This was so fun. I was like, finally, shake up the whole house is a mess. Everybody's going crazy. We get back to the house. Fessy is talking to Nani, and they're talking about the fact that they should definitely have the house vote be Katie and Veronica, because then their names won't be said, since Adam and Steve would want a weaker pairing to go up against Katie and Veronica to ensure that their two, number ones, pretty much their number one pairing comes back, which I was like, okay, this is really good. And Nani, obviously, she starts hearing through the grapevine, like, hey, I'm hearing my name. I need to figure something out. So I was actually really happy to see that people were like, okay, we got to move quick. We got to start talking about this. And then we see Nani explain this to Davon and Big T. And I'm just like, okay, they're trying to get Davon on board, but is Shane going to be on board? Who knows? Definitely not. Then we see Frank then goes to Veronica and Katie, says he thinks their names are on the line against him and Sam, and that they need to sway the house vote. And not Frank, we see Adam, right? Was it Adam?
I think it was Adam.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was Adam that pretty much tells Veronica and Katie, like, hey, y'all gotta start doing something. Or maybe it was Frank and Sam. I can't remember right now, but whatever. So Veronica says,
It was a lot of telephone back and
yeah.
forth. People were
Veronica
talking.
says, you don't gotta tell me twice. Let's create chaos, And what I love about this is that Veronica, the next day, she gets up and she starts politicking, she starts planting the seeds, and Katie follows suit. And we see Corey peep this. And this is where I said earlier that Corey is honestly, he peeps it all. He's on top of it. He may be a instigator, but he's on top of it. He said, usually Veronica sleeps in, gets her beauty rest, with her mask and everything. And she's up early. She's going into every room. And I'm like, Corey, why didn't you use this later on? You should have used what you peeped. But I guess he knew he didn't have the numbers. So she goes up to Amber, and obviously Amber believes her again. And then she goes, I heard from Nicole that she wants to say your name and Fessy's name. And Amber falls for it, guys.
I don't know why she trusts her so blindly. Like
I don't either.
I don't know if they were like cool before, but
you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking it's the
Because they
connection,
both
or
won before. Like maybe it's that.
maybe it's that, but also was Amber on the season where Veronica and Darrell were partners for Ride or Dies? Was she on there? She was on there, right?
Yeah.
With Chauncey. Wasn't she with
Yeah.
Chauncey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she was on with
Mm-hmm.
Chauncey. So I'm thinking maybe because she had such respect for Darrell and maybe they build a rapport during that season, that maybe
Um,
that's why she trusts her.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were looking out with each other, looking out for each other, because I could see that being the connection.
mhm.
But yeah, I was very surprised that Amber was so trusting. Like you said, Crystal, she is so trusting with Veronica. I was like, but Veronica, I this is why when people say put dirt on Veronica's name, I'm like, ain't nobody causing chaos like Veronica anymore. Nobody's strategizing like that. Nobody's politicking like this anymore. She got this on lock. So
I
then
feel like
Amber then
all of the older people, like they
yeah,
know how to, even Katie, like they know
Katie.
what to do to be like, okay, I'll show you. Not
Mm-hmm.
physically, but I'll show you.
I
I
love
feel like a
Katie
lot of
and their
these people don't
little
know that.
her
With
little
her
Mhm.
master class.
that's masterclass on 101. Yes, I loved it
Love
too.
it.
So then Amber
CT
then
pro
tells
tips of this season.
yeah, literally CT pro tips, but Katie pro tips pretty much. So then we have Amber tells her side of this, and Nani agrees to say Melissa and Nicole at this point. She's like, oh, like they said my name, now they giving you ammo, like say their name too. Corey then pulls Big T into the conversation and says, listen, like they're coming for Nicole and Melissa, we gotta do something. Katie, we see have a conversation with Melissa that her name is going around and that that Katie, Veronica, Adam, and Steve don't want that to happen, so they need the numbers. And I'm loving Katie obviously manipulating Melissa into thinking that there's really a chance for her to go in. Melissa's over here like, oh my God, like this cannot happen. So then Melissa goes and tells her top people like Big T and Corey, hey, we need to team up together and we need to take a shot at another star holder. Who's that star holder pairing? Ashley K and Dario. And I said, about time, because y'all literally just been letting them slide. Why? And I thought that it
Why?
was perfect for them to bring it up and say, hey, considering what Dario did to Leroy, that's a perfect example as to why. Perfect. Perfect. How did y'all feel about all of this commotion that was being caused in the house? What
I
were some
loved
of y'all
it.
favorite moments?
I was like, finally, people are doing stuff. Like I feel like it was just stale. Like it was a bag of open chips every episode. It was the same thing. Adam and Steve, Adam and Steve, Adam and Steve. There was no strategy involved. And finally, Veronica and Katie were providing something. And I was like, okay, now I'm invested. Cause last week was cute, but like this one was like where people were actually cracking.
Sophie, I didn't like CT's pro tips or whatever because it was literally like shoved down our throats 3 times an episode. Like Katie's, we've seen it twice at this point. That's it. There's a difference. There's a difference. And even then, I don't really like it per se. It's just like it's funny because we don't see Katie often. So, but yeah, since you wanted an explanation, sis. Um, but yeah, so let's get into right now the house vote. So Big T, Corey, and Katie and Veronica say Ashley K and Dario, leading to Nani and Turbo saying them too. At this point, Dario's surprised. He's like, damn, I'm dumbfounded. Clearly, the game moves quick because he had no idea that people were saying his name, which also makes me feel like you're too comfortable. You're way
Very
too comfortable.
much. Very much. It was also funny though, because Nani was just mad. She was like, could never have anything go the way I want in this house. I'll do whatever, but
Right.
she was just like, whatever. Them.
Yeah, Nani just was like, okay, whatever. Then we see Fessy and Amber say Nicole and Melissa because they heard their name thrown, and they clarify, or pretty much they heard Melissa or Nicole saying Fessy and Amber. Melissa and Nicole, especially Melissa, they're like, just come to the source. You don't have to believe whatever the house is saying or whoever told you, because I would have told you straight up if I did say that or not, and I clearly didn't. So Amber's like, what the hell is going on? Somebody's playing with me. So
And they're
everybody's
all like,
like,
"Who's they?"
right, who is they? The word of the episode was they. Okay, I said, oh, so everybody non-binary at this point. That's what's happening right now. Everybody's a they them. Great. Glad y'all know how to use y'all pronouns. But I did find that funny. And then even TJ's like, who is they? Who is doing this? Who did you hear this from? And seeing TJ,
Aliens.
yeah, seeing TJ like try to force their hand and tell them to say a name was really funny. I didn't expect that out of TJ. How did y'all feel about TJ trying to get involved and trying to get them to spill?
It was funny.
I
Devon was
agree.
not cracking. She was like, I don't know.
But like, I don't know. Like, I'm just so tired of like nobody wanting to say anything. Like, everybody's just like, no, well, I don't know. I don't know who said that. And it's just like, call people out, make it spicy. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was the perfect opportunity for them to do it, especially if TJ is saying to do it. But like, I understand Shane and Devon not wanting to do it since they're playing both sides of the house. But other people, I'm like, y'all have no loyalties to each other. Just say it. Then everyone's just confused. Everybody's avoiding the question. You know, who is they? What is going on? So Melissa, Nicole, Devon, and Shane, and Frank and Sam choose Ashley K and Dario. So they're gonna be going into the elimination. Ashley K and Dario already know that they're going in, so they vote for themselves too, which was smart. Doesn't make sense to throw another name and make an enemy at this point. So let's get into the elimination and take that away, Brandon.
All right. So the elimination is called Stack Attack. And before we get into the elimination, Adam and Steve let us know that they choose Big T and Corey, which I was very surprised with. Not very surprised because I know that Adam and Corey have had back and forth in the previous episode. But we see a little clip that Nani and Turbo and Fessy and Amber basically made deals with them. So they were like, okay, moving forward, I won't say your name if you don't say our name, which to me doesn't really hold true because I feel like that's going to last this episode and then they're going to go back to normal.
Right.
With just saying Adam and Steve. But okay, I still would have chosen Nani and Turbo because they have a star. Why not? Like, make another star available at that point. But yeah, we get into Stack Attack, which is basically the rules are there are two giant unbalanced tops in the middle of the jungle, one for each team. And on go, each pair will get on top of the tops and they have to reach out and grab stars hanging around them. They then have to stack them up in the middle. If you or your stars hit the ground, it will cause a 10-second penalty. And the first pair to completely balance their 7 stars and hold them for 5 seconds will win. So this compared to last week's elimination was way better. I feel like it took a lot of strategy, but also endurance because you're trying to keep balance, which is a lot of core work. So it's like it was a lot going on. And I feel like you also had to communicate with your partner during this whole time to make sure that nothing went wrong. But how did you guys feel overall about it? Because I know Keeks, you weren't a fan of the last one.
I love this elimination. I thought it was really good. I don't know if we've seen a variation. I can't remember off the top of my head if we've seen a variation of it in the past, but I thought it was a really good one. I will say I kind of wish like Frank and not Frank, I'm sorry. I kind of wish Adam and Steve would have made a last minute decision to like pick either Nani and Turbo or Amber and Fessy to go in, considering the difference in weight class between them versus like Big T and Corey. I was just like, you're not doing anything. Like, you're not making waves with that type of move. And when are you going to be back on top like this? Like, get one of them out,
Right.
especially that they're going to turn on them. So I don't understand why he was so trusting, especially when Nani and Turbo have been voting Adam and Steve every freaking week so far. So as soon as I would have,
Or throw in Frank and Sam. They just got their star. What they won't create any waves with that. Just say you just got the star. Sorry.
Yeah, I just felt like this was a perfect elimination to send Fessy. Exactly. He's so big and bulky. Like, come on now. You should have sent him in there. Him and Amber, they would have struggled. Granted, they are good at eliminations, so maybe they would have came back and went for Adam and Steve. But at this point, like at the rate that they're going, like it's just a few of them that are the main ones winning at this point. Like, I don't know.
What for before you go, Jenna, before I forget, the first thing that came to my head was why didn't the guys who were bigger and heavier just sit in the middle of the top and try to have it balanced while the lighter person is using their weight to go and grab the stars so that it has a better anchor.
That's true.
Maybe they were told they couldn't do that.
Maybe, but again, production didn't let us see it, so
yeah. I'm thinking maybe production didn't want them to do that. But yeah, go ahead, Jenna.
No, I like this elimination. I think it was fun. It was different. I mean, I haven't watched the last couple seasons, but I really don't feel like we've seen something like this before. Um, yeah, I thought it was fun. But I do agree, like, this was the perfect opportunity to send somebody else in. But I don't know if you guys peeped it. Early on in the episode, they showed like a trailer for next week's episode. Um, and it showed like Nani and Turbo. You saw Ashley and Dario in that trailer, and it was just like, I think it was like 10 minutes in on the commercial break, and I was like, why are they showing this? So I kind of deduced from that trailer, all right, it's either Big T or Nicole and Melissa, because I didn't see them in the trailer. So I was like, well, I was not surprised. I was surprised by their vote, but I wasn't surprised by their vote, Adam and Steve. And also Adam and Steve voted for Corey and Big T last week. So I was like, all
Yeah.
right, this isn't, but yeah, overall, I liked the elimination.
I think what surprised me the most that Adam and Steve ended up making a deal with those two pairs. I was just like, why would you? Okay, sure. I mean, do what you got to do to get through the game, I guess. But this was close. This was a close match and a nail biter. And I was like, honestly, I'm surprised that it was this close. Because obviously, if you see like look at the two groups, you're like, okay, Ashley K and Dario, they're about the similar size, weight class, they're closer in weight than Corey and Big T. But they both did very well. And honestly, when you saw that they stacked it up and then it comes down, falling down on Big T and Corey, I was just like Melissa, like, no.
I'm sorry, but when it went to commercial break, when you saw Big T trying to get that last star up and it was slanted, I was like, it's over. I could tell. Like, and I was sad, but yeah.
I felt like it would have been really it would have been cool for Big T and Corey to come back, considering obviously like Corey is not afraid of getting into drama with people. Big T is much more entertaining than Ashley Kate and Dario combined. Even though she's been a little bit more calm in the last few seasons, but come on now. And I feel like it would have shook things up, you know. It would have given them the boost that they needed. But hey, it is what it is. Unfortunately, Big T and Corey, y'all gotta go. Y'all are done.
Like through the season, I didn't really find myself rooting for them, and I kind of just felt like they were there until like these last two episodes. Like they really didn't stick
Mm,
out to me. But hearing like what Corey would have done with the money if he won, and like Big
mhm.
T coming like such a long way. I remember her crying, and TJ was like, "I know you're gonna come back. You're such a good competitor." Blah blah blah. So like I feel like they've both come a long way, and I really did find myself rooting for them in the elimination. So
Yeah, same.
Same.
I did. It's just like, dang, especially that's so surprising for you, Brandon, because you're not a big Corey L fan at all, typically.
I will say that I was not a fan of him in season 39. He rubbed me the wrong way when he backstabbed Melissa and Big T like that. And I felt he was using them for like the enjoyment of creating chaos in a
Hmm.
way. So I didn't like that. But I feel like he redeemed himself this season. He knew what he did and he was like, okay, let me come back a different character. And what I do appreciate is when they went back to the house, he tells Amber, he's like, that they is Veronica and Katie. They want to get out strong players. They're coming for you next. So literally use this as an example of how they're playing their game. Don't fall for it. And thank God Amber finally wakes up and she's like, that pisses me off. Like I trusted her being Veronica. I trusted her and like I really thought she was gonna be an ally in this game, but now I know. So it'll be interesting to see how she takes that information going forward and plays the game.
I
So
agree.
how do y'all feel about like them going back to the house now? Because now they can like obviously give people more clues before they go. I think this is good. Like I actually like being able to see them go back to the house and have like those few little moments before they head out.
I
Because who
prefer
would
it because
Yeah.
yeah,
they could put little worms in their ears like, oh, you
yeah.
saw how they threw me down, they're gonna do that to you next. This one told me this, and then mess up someone's game completely.
Yes. I agree. Hopefully they'll do that. Maybe it'll be just an all-stars thing versus a flagship show thing, but I do appreciate that cuz you could plant seeds on the way out. And you have more time to do it, you know. Um I'm sure we will see Corey and Big T another season. I'm positive. I'm sure Corey, if he can build a better support or like group or alliance, I can see him going far again and making it to another final. I could see Big T going far too. She always makes it pretty decently far in a season anyway. Um, but yeah, I'm sad to see them go, but it is what it is. You know, that's it. And now we are stuck with Ashley K and Dario having a conversation about their relationship. And pretty much we find out that Dario was a fuckboy, right? That's it.
Pretty
Mm-hmm.
much. Straight up ghosted
Pretty
her.
much.
Ghosted her. Oh my god,
And
after
didn't know why
4
she was
years.
mad.
Right?
Come on.
And he's gonna say, "Oh, I kind of don't remember. It's kind of a little foggy. Yeah, it's foggy because you don't want her to air you the fuck out right now. I'm sure."
Selective memory. Yeah.
I was like, Ashley, let him have it. I kind of wanted her to curse him the hell out, but she's mature. She's obviously
She's
moved
just I feel
on.
like she's just so nice. I want
She
her
Yeah.
to
is.
get mean for once. Like I feel bad. I don't know.
Seems like
She didn't
Dario
deserve
will
that.
keep that money for himself. Okay, so Crystal, you think the prize money at the end, like we've talked about at the start of the season, we think that they're gonna have to choose if they want to keep the money for themselves or split it with their rival. Um,
If he does
do I
that, that
mm-mm,
nasty. Mm-mm.
nasty,
I don't like that. That
nasty.
I feel like that's nastier than what Bananas did to Sarah. Because I
Yeah.
Yeah.
lived with you. I was a whole person to you. I
Right.
wasn't a friend in this game. Like we were in a whole committed relationship. So
And she's a
Right.
no.
whole mother. She's a whole mother. Don't do
Right.
that.
And he ghosted her. The least he could do is split the money. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Right. At least. I don't. Man,
If he takes 300K for
And
himself to take his mom on a Euro
say
trip,
that.
like,
You did say that, Crystal. Oh, you're so right.
oh
He better not. Oh my God, he will be one of the most disgusting Dominican men ever to scum on earth. I swear to God, y'all don't understand. Dominican men, they are the devil. They are the devil themselves.
Hold on, wait. Jenna's man is Dominican. Hold on.
I was gonna say this is a bad time to tell you, Crystal. My man is Dominican. And he's in the other room, okay? Okay.
Well, I mean, I know, y'all. Like, I'm Dominican, so I can say this. But yes, you're right, Mary. They need to win first. So let's see what's gonna happen. But so happy that this episode was much more entertaining than the last and actually the whole season. Let's hope that it continues. Let's see if Katie and Veronica are gonna be able to get out of this, because obviously shit is about to pop off, especially with Amber knowing. Amber's not afraid to just confront somebody. So I feel like that conversation is bound to happen. And yeah, so happy that things are looking on up for this all-star season, because it was getting a little whack.
Yeah, let's hope it keeps happening, because the first 4 episodes, I'll be honest, I was fighting for my life. So
we were. That was the reason why we did a double episode, to be quite honest, because once we saw that Adam and Steve went in last episode, we're like, yeah, let's just double it up. But anyway, let's not yap the rest of y'all ears off for the rest of the night. I know a lot of people want to watch Traitors with the finale and the reunion, myself included. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to hit that like button, share, comment, subscribe. Make sure to follow us at Reality Unloaded Pod on Instagram and Reality Unloaded Podcast on TikTok. Thank you so much, Jenna, for joining in. We do have to get your mom on the pod for sure, especially after that comment.
But
maybe not. But yeah. Bye everybody. It's fuck Dominican men, aside from Jenna's man and my father. But have a good one, everyone. Have a great night. Thank you. Peace out.
bye.
Bye.